And you're a rabbi, so
Yes, yes.
amazing, amazing. I don't think we've got another rabbi in the group.
You know, by default, the strange thing is after all the controversial things in my life, I had to wait 56 years to become the first South African-born female rabbi.
Amazing. Wow,
So yeah,
Congratulations.
so that, thank you. So that happened
Amazing.
last year.
Wow, amazing. And Linda.
Hi, Bendy. How are you, honey?
Good, and you?
Good. How are you going?
Fantastic. All good. All good. And Gil is there.
Oh, this
which
is so good.
So nice.
This is
so
fabulous.
nice.
I love it.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah. It's wonderful. It gets a bit difficult when there are more people on the group.
I know. We'll just chat till they join.
Yeah, we'll just follow the lead of, oh, look, there's lots more people. Marcel, Evron, Stephen. Gee, I
And
wouldn't
Brian.
recognize Stephen.
Brian, aren't you also in Cape Town? Hi, you're still there?
I've moved to a nicer place.
Oh, lovely.
Wow.
Right now.
That's super.
Good to
Amazing.
good to see you again, Belinda.
Gosh, hello to everybody from here, from England.
Hi.
Hi.
I do still recognize some faces, so that's a good thing.
Amazing.
Father.
Peter, I must tell you, I do remember, I'm quite amazed because I'm not living in South Africa now, but I understand that you're a journalist, and I remember being in school and remembering going around the class and they were asking, what does everyone want to be? And I remember Peter saying she wants to be a journalist. And I thought, gosh, how does she know that so clearly? I had no idea what I want to be.
I was very,
Amazing.
very lucky. I have to admit, I was lucky. I followed my passion, and I still wake up every morning looking forward to work.
Kola, very nice. Very
I
nice.
I have to tell you,
Very
Peter,
good.
that it must be the only publication where 3 generations actually read the newspaper. So you do an amazing publication, really.
Thanks
From
very much.
school kids to I read it, my dad reads it. It's just amazing. So yeah, really fabulous publication.
Thank you.
Well
Thank
done.
you.
Well done, Peter.
It's a
Hi,
true
everyone.
labor of love.
We're about halfway with the amount of people coming on, so I'm just going to let you guys chat for a bit, and we'll start it at about 15:15. So just enjoy, and I'll be with you all soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gila.
Thanks, Gila.
Manu.
Sheldon, Dick, where did you
Hi,
disappear?
How you going?
Good, and you?
Good, good. How's everybody?
Yeah, all good. All good.
Nice to see
Oh,
you.
good,
Wow, it's so
good.
nice to see familiar faces. It's lovely.
It's good to see you, Peter.
Yeah, you too. Goodness gracious,
been a very long
you don't
time.
look any different.
Oh, you're very nice, Peter. You too. You still in Joburg, Peter? Yeah, obviously.
Yes.
Your mum and dad?
Yes, they passed away. I suppose,
Oh,
like a
sorry
lot of
to
our
hear that.
parents.
Yeah, sorry to hear that. Wow.
But
That's
otherwise, my
crazy.
whole family are still here.
Are they all still there? Amazing. That's fantastic. Wow.
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 Peter, where's Alan these days?
He's in Modi'in in Israel.
Wow. He's not on the group. He's not on the group, is he?
No, I don't know why.
Nah.
Neither is Nicola.
Yeah.
No.
Funny, some people just kind of like, you lose complete connection with them, and it's a pity.
Yeah.
It's a pity. Like I thought of a few people like Lisa Krut that when I just thought, like, how am I going to get hold of her to tell her? And then time goes, and they just
So true.
Yeah.
I was in contact with Howard Krut, I mean, he was head boy
Wow.
of RU, and he's in the Cape somewhere working with horses. And yeah, I wonder if I don't think he's on the group either.
That's a pity.
Yeah. And Gideon Shapiro, remember Gideon?
Yes, he passed away, didn't he?
No.
He was
One
involved in.
He lives in
Hello.
Gansbaai. He's got a guest house in Gansbaai.
Okay, there's another Gideon Shapiro then who passed away. Different one. Okay, good. Good to hear that.
Oh.
And does
Gideon
anyone know
was
what
a-
happened to Russell Stain?
No.
Russell, I don't know. I thought he
He's in
was.
Perth.
Is it?
I think
Wasn't
he's in
Cape Town
Perth.
the last? Oh,
He's in
really?
Perth? Oh, amazing.
Where's he?
Wow.
I think so. I think lives in Perth.
Okay. Hello.
Hi, Laura. Hi, Laura. How are you going?
Sure, David Froman, I would not have recognized you. If you walked past me in the street, I wouldn't have recognized you. Nice to see you.
Oh. And Avron, I see you up there. You look exactly the same. Absolutely identical. It's actually uncanny.
Well, thank you very
Now,
much.
I would have recognized you anyway.
Oh, yeah, I'm fine.
Thank you.
And Alan, also you look totally different. Alan Kaplan.
Yeah, you know, Fatty Kaplan at school, a little bit different now. I think running
Some
marathons
of us
and
went the other way.
triathlons definitely
Oh my
keeps you in
God,
shape.
so good.
Oh, look at David.
So good. Oh my God, Dave. Wow.
So nice to
Stephen,
see
where
you.
in the world are you?
In Philadelphia, USA.
Wow.
In 85.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm at the New Jersey shore right now. Summer's coming, so I'm at the beach.
Fantastic.
Lucky man.
How you all
So
doing?
good.
Great to see you.
Yeah,
Well, good to
great.
see you too.
You don't even sound South African anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
People
He
here still
isn't.
love my accent. People love my mixed accent here.
How you doing, Laura?
Hello, how are you?
How you going? Wow.
Oh my gosh, Melanie's another person who looks absolutely unchanged.
That's right.
Oh
I'll
my
second
gosh.
that. Melanie, we can't hear you. You're on mute.
Melanie, unmute so we can hear you.
How's it?
Oh, you sound the same too.
I haven't lost my accent at all.
Lovely.
I can still speak Afrikaans.
Wow. I could never speak Afrikaans.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Sheldon, hello to you. Where are you these days?
Me, I'm in Melbourne.
Oh, that's very nice.
Melanie from Melbourne.
That's right.
Hey, Mels.
How about you, Sheldon?
I'm in Israel.
Sheldon, we were in a school play together.
Wow.
Yeah, Mrs. Cricket.
Remember the cricket?
Yeah, you were Mrs. Cricket.
And I had to be pregnant.
I remember that.
It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault.
Hysterical.
I love it.
Yeah, that's the end.
Carol, where's Paul?
He's working.
Oh,
But
Oh,
not.
Yeah, you know, you got to work. He's he's busy doing a deal.
okay.
9
Well, at
o'clock at
least we've
night.
got
That's
one
not
of
good.
you.
Well, and someone has to pay all the bills here.
quite right.
Linda, tell us our fortune.
Okay, so which
I'm
hat do you want me
sitting in
to put on? The rabbi hat or the mystic?
If the mystic first
Mystic.
and then the rabbi.
I guess I'm controversial either way. Well, for me, it's just very interesting to see how everybody's lives have unfolded. Yeah, you shouldn't actually ask me how much I do see, because it's absolutely phenomenal to see everybody, and I don't just see the physical. I always feel the energetic, and I'm aware of some people's stories, but others look very, very interesting. I think none of our lives have turned out how we thought that they would. And I think that's what's phenomenal, because this is literally a lifetime away. I've got 2 grandchildren. I'm sure many of you have got grandchildren now. We've got children. Nothing turned out how I thought that it would. I can't hear. Who is that?
Hi, we've got 36 people who have joined, and we've got about 60 who have registered. So I think we're going to start in about 3 minutes. I usually start with Australian, so let's just keep going for a little bit, and let's give them another 3 or so minutes to join.
Excellent.
Everyone, you can start. You from Australia?
Let's just wait a couple of more minutes, and then everybody needs to mute, please.
Okay.
And Tracy hasn't got her camera on. I'd love to see Tracy, my almost neighbor from all those years ago in Glendale.
Yeah, I remember. I'm sitting in the car at the moment. Can you see me now?
Yes, hi.
I didn't realize I didn't have the camera on. Sorry, we're sitting in the car.
Wow.
How are you, Trace?
Yeah, good at you, Jen.
Good, thank you. Everybody well?
Yeah, thank God. You guys?
Good.
Hi,
Yeah,
Tracy.
good, thank you.
Hi, Mel.
Hi. That's cute.
So good, so good.
So how many people are still in South Africa? Other Belinda, okay.
Elaine? Hi, Elaine, you're still here?
Yeah.
Hey, yeah. Mm.
Okay. And Clinton and Brian are here.
I'm also here.
Yeah.
Who said that?
Doron, I'm also in South Africa, but only for another 5 weeks.
Wow. Where are you going, Doron?
I'm going to the Netherlands.
Oh, wow.
Amazing. Wow.
You only waited 40 years.
I only waited 40 years, yeah.
Wow.
He was never too late.
At least you can speak Afrikaans there.
Well, let me tell you, it's very, very different. We think that it's similar and that you can understand what people are saying. You understand absolutely nothing. If they speak very, very, very slowly, you can pick up a little bit. But other than that, I promise you that they may as well be speaking Greek.
Wow.
Hi, Tony.
Laron, where in Holland are you going?
I'm going to a little town in the southeast of Netherlands called Arnhem, which is about 35 kilometers west of Düsseldorf.
Wow.
The town has got about 100,000 people that live there.
Doron, why are you going? What are you going to?
I got headhunted by an American company there. And also I've had German citizenship for a long, long time, and my son has lived in Germany for the last few years. So, you know, it was just an opportunity that came along, and I thought, what the hell, let's give it a go and see what happens.
Good for you.
Hello
to everybody.
Bev and Lawrence are here. Carolyn's here.
And Raymond, hi. Are you in Israel?
No, hi Israel. I wish. I'm in South Africa.
Oh my
Hi,
goodness.
Raymond.
Nice to see
Hello
you.
everybody. How's it, Linda?
How are you going? Nice to see you.
Good,
all.
and you? How's it,
So
Tracy?
good, thank you.
How's it? It's neighbors.
Yeah. Are you still in South Africa,
Amazing.
Tracy?
Yeah, still here.
Still, yeah, I thought you were.
Wow.
Where are you,
Amazing.
Linda?
I live in Australia, in Melbourne.
How is it?
So I've been here 24 years.
Sure.
Long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's we're fortunate. It's a good place to live.
Do you
My
remember
kids love
Craig?
it, and it's
Do you
Craig.
remember Craig Kessler and Red Kessler?
Yes. Now Craig is married to Lee Kessler. Okay.
That's
Now
right.
Lee is my husband's sister.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So she's my
So
sister-in-law,
you-
Lee.
Yeah,
So I do see Craig a lot every week.
Is it? I'm sure. When I see Craig every now and then, he comes to South Africa for business, or he just, I don't know. I've seen him quite a lot recently, actually.
Craig or Rhett?
Craig.
Right. Right. Amazing.
Yeah.
So
Whenever
funny.
We related because Craig and Rhett are my cousins. I speak to Rhett quite often.
Amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's small world, isn't it? Crazy,
Yeah.
really. Yeah, but they're well. They all good.
Yeah,
They're all
thank God.
good. Yeah.
In these times, you got to say thank God, because
It's
everyone's
so right.
with
That's so true.
COVID and with all the hectics. It's quite
So
hectic.
true. Exactly. Exactly.
I was just looking at the over 50% of people on the group are still in South Africa, interestingly enough.
Wow.
Over 50%, just doing a rough
Wow.
count.
My
So-
goodness.
And I think quite
That's
a lot in
amazing.
Australia. Yeah, so it's and how's it, Philly?
Hi, Philly.
I'm sorry. I've got
Hi,
bad
Philly.
flu. I can't really talk.
Oh.
So
Okay, are we ready to start?
Yes, we're ready.
I would like to ask everybody to please mute themselves. Please keep your camera on so we can see how you're doing and what you look like and what's changed. Please don't interrupt anybody else when they're speaking, because they you then stop them from being heard. If you'd like to say something to that person, put your hand up or your little electronic hand. If you'd like to speak next, please send me a message, or once again, the hand up. As I said, I like to start with Australians because they tend to go to sleep earlier and it's already late there. And then we're here to have fun, enjoy, and every person gets 3 minutes to speak. Please don't overtake your 3 minutes. And you'll see Raylene Trodonsky, who is my executive director at the King David Foundation, is on, and she will tell you something about the foundation. She has 3 minutes, and if she goes longer, I'll mute her. So should we start with Alan Kaplan?
Good, thanks. Good to be first. How do you, it's really great to see everyone, first of all, names and faces that, you know, it's sometimes it's actually been 40 years, so that's really unbelievable. But, you know, like most of us, we all had unbelievable experiences back at school. And this just brings up those fond memories. How do you condense 40 years into 3 minutes? It's a bit tricky. I'll try to keep to time. So just a brief, you know, from all of us, I'm sure, just a very brief of our different journeys. I finished school, started medical school. I went from, as I said earlier, I went from Fatty Kaplan to Marathon Kaplan in the space of about 3 or 4 years, started running marathons, became an athlete, which has really been great for my psychological well-being. After medical school, I studied anesthesia at Wits, and then very shortly after that, I left with my wife to go to Australia. I guess my unique experience was we spent 3 years in the outback. Literally, this was really Pofada, not by the sea. It was a really small little town in the middle of nowhere where we had an unbelievable experience. We were the only Jews there, and it actually consolidated our Jewishness to some extent. And after that, we came to Sydney, 2 children a few years later, and You know, Sydney's a great place to live. Hard not to enjoy it. You know, the beaches, the sea, the beauty. Fortunately, there are quite a lot of us who live in Sydney from back in the old days. What do I do now? I practice anesthesia. I've got a very broad practice. As someone said, I'm very, very fortunate. I love my work. I look forward to going to work every single day. My patients never answer back. They never give me any trouble at all. They're sleeping. And all I have to do is make sure I wake them up so I can get paid. So it's not a, you know, not a difficult job at times. Sometimes it's stressful, but I actually enjoy it. I'm very lucky to have a wonderful wife, 2 beautiful children. My children are in their 20s, both at uni. So fortunately, Hashem has been very kind to us. We've had a good life. We've been healthy. I've got another 30 seconds. I'm fortunate enough to be, you know, have gone to 3 or 4 Maccabees. I now do triathlons, and between my family, my work, and my exercise, I'm very content. So as I said, great to see everybody, and let's hope this evening is a great evening of reminiscing and catching up. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Alan. Avron, would you like to go on now?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I've been living in Melbourne, Australia for the last 15 years. I'm married to Helene Kangasser, King David, 1986. I'm blessed to have 4 wonderful children. I work as a dentist in Melbourne. Coincidentally, one of my eldest son, one of his best friends is Hilton Mayroff's son. So they spend a lot of time together, and God willing, in a few months' time, they'll both be qualified doctors. Interestingly, my daughter, one of her good friends is Larry Rudman's daughter. So just interesting how other side of the world, people still have got a King David connection. You know, as far as King David was concerned, I mean, from my own personal point of view, there were good times, or other times I didn't really enjoy it, but thank God it's lovely to see everybody over here. Thank you.
Thanks, Avron. Brian, were you waving? No. Okay. Carly, would you like to go next? I'm sorry, it's Carol. I apologize.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I've been in Australia for 24 years with Paul. I've been with Paul since we were at school when we were 15. We are still very happily married and still great friends. We started off out of King David at Investec Bank in South Africa, and Paul came to start up Investec Australia. We were with Investec Australia, both of us, for 2 years, and then Paul started his own businesses here in finance, mortgage broking, medical finance, medical lending, everything mathematical and finance, much to Mr. Wolf's amazement when we met him, because he never thought he'd pass standard grade maths. So it's always been quite a good joke among everyone here. We've had an amazing time. We live in Sydney, and we have been very lucky. It's a beautiful city. We have great friends here. We've got 2 boys. One's 19 now and one's 27. We immigrated in between having one. We've got great friends here. We're still friendly with Stephen and Sue Clemens, who also live here. We're very friendly with Alan and Nikki Cross, who of course live in Israel, but see them quite often. And yeah, we've had a great time here in Sydney, and it's great to see everyone after so many years and see that everyone's well and happy. We're very happy here. And yeah, hopefully we'll have another 20, 30 years of happiness.
Amen. Thank you very much. Harris, would you like to say a couple of words?
Sure, sorry. Later,
Hello.
No problem. It's I was on the call we had, which was it last year or the year before, which was fantastic to catch up with people. I've been in Australia since 86, so it's been 36, 37 years or something. I've been, well, I'm an accountant. I'm in IT project management. I'm divorced. Got two amazing kids, a 23 and a 21-year-old. Really proud of my kids. Love Melbourne. I've got lucky enough to have my entire family with me, and in fact, ironically, I came late, leaving early because it's my partner's 50th, and tonight. So it's not really a great thing to sort of abandon that, but that's life. And it's really great. I sort of follow everybody on Facebook, those people that I do see, and I occasionally catch up with the people in Melbourne, but not a lot of them, because I think it's about 15 of us in Melbourne. And I'll sort of leave it there because the rest of it is sort of irrelevant.
Great. Thank you so much, and wish your partner a very happy birthday from all of us. And thank you for sparing a little time. I appreciate it. Let's see, Jonathan, would you like to come on? Sorry, is JT, are you Janine? Because I'm not sure who JT is. If you want to change your name for us and maybe put your camera on. Okay, Jonathan Kalmar, you're up.
Hi everyone, good to see you all. I must say I don't recognize a lot of you. So I'm also living in Sydney with my wife and 3 kids. My one kid's telling me I'm not allowed to show a picture of her. She's sitting here next to me, but she's said I can't include her. They are 27. My 27-year-old's a teacher. I've got a 22-year-old who's doing occupational therapy and a 21-year-old who's doing nursing. I'm a stockbroker. We immigrated here 19 years ago. And like Alan, I've kept up I lost my running at one stage, put on quite a bit of weight, got back into it, and have been doing triathlons and Ironman or whatever you. So I've still kept that going. It's really been a great experience living here in Sydney. Love the lifestyle. The ocean is really what makes it a great place for me. And that's about it. Not much more to say. Nice to see all of you.
Thank you for joining us. That's nice. And sometimes, you know, the camera might just turn. I did the same to my poor daughter the other day, but that was an accident. Kevin Todas, I'm sure I saw you here a minute ago. Is Kevin on? Am I mistaken? Okay, let's move on. Linda, hi.
Hey, how are you, Dila?
How's it? How are you?
Good, thanks, and you. So lovely to be on and to see everybody and catch up. I live in Melbourne, Australia. I've been here 24 years. I have a lovely husband, Jaime, and 2 beautiful girls. Kerry is nearly 32, and she is an occupational therapist and did a master's now in occupational health and safety and ergonomics. And Nicole is 29. She's a paramedic. And I have a beautiful little grandbaby, Indy. She's 9 months old. Absolute true delight. I initially went into advertising, then I've worked in media, finance, worked for Pfizer Laboratories for many years, and now I'm a practice manager in a medical clinic. I work for 8 practitioners, and life is very good. We're very fortunate. And it's just lovely to catch up with everyone and to see everybody again. Thank you for organizing this.
Only my pleasure. I'm glad you could join us. Who's next? Lauren, would you like to say hi? I saw Lauren.
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you.
Oh, good. Hello, Lauren.
Hello. Lovely to see you all. It's really great. I'm in Melbourne, been here for almost 30 years. I've married Joshua. We've got 2 beautiful kids, a daughter of nearly 28 and a son of 24. I also am very fortunate that most of my family are with us in Melbourne. I've got a small bookkeeping practice, which I run from home. I've been doing this for a couple of years. Yeah, we have a great life in Melbourne. It's like really our home. We've been here longer than we were in South Africa, and yeah, we have a good time here. It's great. So it's really great to see you all, and thanks for everyone to see everybody.
Thank you for joining. Now's Melanie Golan. And Melanie and I worked for Mel when she had In Vogue Travel and Tours in Johannesburg. And she's my friend Lee's sister. Hello, Mel. Are you muted? Let me unmute you. There we go.
Yes,
How's
Gil,
it?
it's been a long time. How are you?
Very long. Good, good.
That's good. I'm still in the travel industry, believe it or not, even though we've been wiped out for 2.5 years during this epidemic, but we're crawling back, and people, thank God, still want to travel, and they're really bored. So I live in Melbourne. I've been here for 17 years. I've got 2 children, a daughter, she's going to be 30. She got married last year, and my son's 27. They're both full of chutzpah and are very naughty, just like I was. And it's so amazing to see all of you, because with all of you, I have some, not all of you, but like Elaine Sorian, I've caught up with. Avron's my dentist. I see Harris at Shul. I'm very friendly with Joni. I know Linda very well and her family, and I watch Belinda Salted on Facebook with all her predictions. And I just wish everyone all love, nachas, and you've all done well, and Peter with the Jewish news, and Howard Sackstein and Johnny Aarons with that lovely grin. Stunning to see you. We are 57. We are getting on. So I don't know what to say. L'chaim.
See you in Joburg.
That's it.
Tracy, would you like to come on? Tracy, I see your maiden name's Moss. Are you related to Ziva?
Yes, she's my sister-in-law.
I'm very fond of her.
That's good to hear. So I'm in Sydney. I've been here for about 27 years. I'm married to another King Davidian, but he was younger than us, Larry Schreier. And I've got 2 beautiful children, a 25-year-old. Actually, Alan, I'm interested to know where you lived, because he is probably living in one of the remotest places in Australia. He is an engineer and he's on a mine. So he's in Mount Isa.
He went to Mount Isa, the same place I was at. He gave me a call.
Yeah, so of course, he's at Mount Isa as well. And my daughter is 22. And she is at uni. I obviously absolutely loved my time at King David. It transformed my life because I came from Parktown Girls. So I decided to stay in Jewish education, and I have been in Jewish education for the past 35 years. I'm actually a maths teacher, a high school maths teacher, which some of you might find a little bit surprising, I have to tell you. You're the only ones. Everyone in Sydney thinks I'm like this, fabulous mathematician. I am not, but I was at Mariah College, which is the King David of Sydney, for 27 years. And then actually the last 2 years during COVID, I actually went to Los Angeles, to Beverly Hills. I was the principal of the largest modern Orthodox day school in Los Angeles for 2 years, but COVID was a problem. I did hotel quarantine twice. And I was separated from Larry because he couldn't get a visa. So I came back. So now I'm back. I'm not working. I'm retired. And my daughter is studying maths at uni, and I'm sure she'll be a maths teacher. Please God. That's it.
That's very sweet. Did I miss anybody else that lives in Australia?
Joan Lurie.
I don't see Joan on here.
She was here earlier. Let me have a look for her.
I was also having a look because I saw that she registered.
There's Miss Johnny.
Hello, Joan.
I'm here, but I'm very happy for you to miss me as well.
No, Joan.
What do you mean?
Don't you want to tell us where you're living at least? Where in Oz?
I'm living in Melbourne, very close to Melanie and many people in Caulfield, but I don't live in Caulfield, in the ghetto, so to speak, a little bit further out. And I've been here since 2004, so a long time, although it feels like some days like nothing and some days like way too long. I still miss South Africa a lot. Still my heart home, I think. Hard to believe that I'm Australian. But I'm very happy here. I've got two beautiful boys. One is 20 and one is 22, studying at Melbourne Uni. And I've started my own business called Organomics. I do a lot of consulting to organizations doing systemic change, which I love. And which keeps me going. It's my, in addition to just loving being a mom, I love my work. So yeah, that's my life. Sometimes I enjoy being a partner to my husband, every now and then. Johnny Orlovitz, some of you know him. 10 years my senior, but he's a wonderful person too.
Good. Thank you so much. I think I've covered the Australians. I don't want to miss anybody. Am I right? Okay, cool. I was going to say let's get Paul Harris on because he's in New Zealand, but it looks like he hasn't signed on yet. So if he does sign on, we're going to go on. I'm just going to jump the queue and ask Clinton Fain to say hi because he apparently has to leave early. So I don't want to miss hearing what he and Brian have been up to. Very busy because I know they're coming to school this week. Hi, guys.
Hello. I have lived in the United States for the last 38 years, mainly in California. And I've been back in South Africa just since the beginning of COVID. And one of the projects that I'm working on with Brian, which is why we're together at the moment, is we're doing a presentation at King David this week, in fact, Thursday night, and then again on Friday for the students, dealing with bullying. And without going into the whole presentation, suffice to say that I was one of Brian's bullies at school. And we've had an opportunity to reconcile, have had incredible conversations around it. And this presentation is an opportunity to take that a step further and initiate a dialogue because the issue of bullying hasn't really gone away. And so that's pretty much the story. I'm an artist, I'm a writer, I'm an activist. Those are the things I do. I'm currently living in Palm Springs. I was in San Francisco for 25 years. I was in Los Angeles for about 6 years, New York for about 2. And this project is very, very important to me. It's very meaningful to me. And maybe Brian, go next so that you can say anything that I've probably missed out in my self-absorption. Nice to speak to you all.
Hi guys. Yeah, it's interesting listening to all the stories so far because mine is very different. I think most of you know that I went into a career in entertainment and have been pretty successful at it. So it's interesting hearing how everybody's gone into professional avenues when mine is entertainment. I did live in the States for 7 years. I was in New York, I was in Las Vegas, and I was in Los Angeles. I had an unfortunate run-in with crystal meth, and I was at a point where it was either remain in the US or come home and start my life again. And I did that, and I've been back 20 years this year. It's been very good for me. COVID, however, has been very, very rough on our industry. So it's been kind of a clawing back, but it's given me time to sort of rebuild things and reassess things. And part of the reason behind our project is it's a kind of awareness thing. I mean, you often hear in schools all the time about what happens to a bully and how bullies are just the bad guys. And our presentation is actually throwing a different light on it. Our presentation is about what if we learn to sort of understand what makes a bully and why do kids bully? Because if we understand what their motivation is, perhaps it can lead to some kind of harm reduction. And it's been very cathartic and healing for us. And it's actually the fact that we were sort of enemies at school, and we have found ourselves in the last 2 weeks laughing so much and finding things really amusing. It's like we missed out on so much, but are playing catch up. So yeah, and it was very interesting for us in the last 2 weeks, going back to the school and just being back at what we call the scene of the crime. So yeah, that's me.
How did this initiative come about? Like, who reached out to who?
Well, when I mean, it was thanks to Elaine Soriano, who's on the call.
Yeah,
I had reconnected about 13 years ago already on Facebook, and Clinton was back in the country a few years ago, and Elaine kind of suggested that we meet up. And it was like it was a bit of a hesitation at first.
I'm sure.
But I thought, you know what, it's time to settle accounts, and it's time to actually confront Clinton on my terms.
And I didn't even think he would. I was surprised when Brian agreed to meet us for lunch, because I mean, I knew it could be confrontational. And
I arrived at lunch and I looked at him and I said, I remember you from your resting bitch face. And
I knew he remembered everything.
and in that lunch, I mean, we just unpacked things and it was incredible. And the idea of this came up, and then nothing happened. And then a few weeks ago, even about 3 months ago, Clinton had posted an excerpt from his memoir on Facebook, which basically he talks about what had happened with us at school. And one of the journalists, Peter, was it you or was it Nicola?
Peter read it.
I think Peter read it, and she got hold of Clinton and wanted to interview us. And we said in that interview, which I think a lot of you may have read in the Jewish Report, that we were planning on this. And here it is, and we're doing it next Thursday. And the plan is to take it further and to take it to other schools and other institutions, and possibly travel it, because it's very, very rare that you see a story of a bully and a victim on the same stage together. So yeah.
I'm very excited to see it. My tickets are already. I am very fortunate to be having lunch on Friday with Clinton and Brian. So if anybody's in Joburg and you'd like to join us, we're actually going to be at the tuck shop. So message me and let's all make it a little get together. So if you'd like to, Johnny, Peter, please let me know. Howard Saxton, are you going to be back in Joburg? Thumbs up, thumbs down. So I'm going to have you for lunch. I'll order the sloppy joes and beacon bite crisps. Great. I have put together a little PowerPoint presentation which I'd like to show you, and then I see that Kevin Todis is here, so he may want to speak because he's in Australia and they go to bed early. So here goes my presentation.
We don't go to bed early.
Is it just a figure of my imagination?
Speak for yourself.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's a lunchtime Zoom? All right, here it goes. I'm sorry. Take two. It's because Howard Saxton's on. hope you enjoyed that, and sorry about the song over and over and over, although I do quite like the song. I'm going to introduce you now to Raylene, and I'm putting my timer on. Here goes.
Hi guys. So I've been given 3 minutes. I could talk for 3 hours, but I promise to keep it short. I want to start with a huge thank you and a shout out to Gilla Glazer, because although it doesn't look like it, these Zooms take hours and hours of preparation. And just Gilla, thanks for everything that you do for the foundation. I just want to share with you, I run the foundation. I usually give a little bit of a story on my background. I won't. I will just tell you that I myself was a subsidy kid, which really kind of explains the passion for what I do, because it's a crazy calling. I ran the foundation for 10 years alongside my mentor and colleague, the legendary Elliot Wolf. Unfortunately, for those who didn't know, he passed away in November, and now I have the task of continuing and carrying the baton alone. I've just returned from my first overseas trip without him, and it was quite grueling, I have to be honest, but I know that he paved the way for what is today really an incredible story of Davidians who have made an incredible success of themselves wherever they find themselves in the world. And that is part of Elliot's legacy. He was an incredible educator, he was an incredible mentor, and we built a foundation which, please God, will talk to the sustainability of Jewish South Africa, certainly in my lifetime. So just to share what we do, the demographics of the South African Jewish community, for those of you who don't live in South Africa, has changed dramatically. We remain this beacon of excellence, this incredible school that is really something we are very, very proud of. We school our kids to be able to go on to do whatever they want in the world, wherever they may find themselves. Hello, Gary in London. Hello, Mark, my old neighbor in Boston. Truly all successful icons all over the world. But what we do is we school our South African kids in a way that is still today absolutely excellent and world class. I'm a very, very proud Davidian. I'm a proud mother of 3 beautiful Davidians. My eldest is about to graduate in London at the London Business School. My middle one has just got a fantastic job, having made Aliyah to Israel. And my daughter is in a secondment on a gap year program. So what I think the point I'm making is that even though you got a fantastic education, people often say to me, but what's it like now? Are you able to give Davidians as wonderful an education? And I'm really, really proud to say that we do and we can, but it is all through the generosity of incredible donors, because today our subsidy budget is enormous. We get no government funding. We're a proud community school. We never turn a Jewish child away because of financial need. And as I say, I myself was a recipient of such a subsidy. And so our subsidy budget today is 40 million Rand for 2022. I used to say 20, then I said 30, and now I'm saying 40 million Rand. That is what our subsidy budget today is. The difference in the shortfall between what we get in from full paying parents versus those that get a full subsidy. Some people get 5%, some people get full subsidy. Incredible, governance is provided around who gets what. But as I say, very proud to say that we never turn any Jewish child away. What we've also done very successfully, thank God, is we've managed to set up structures all over the world. So if you're making a donation to the foundation, if you are in the privileged position of being able to give back, and you are able to make a difference and allow another child the option and the privilege of coming to King David, my appeal is always the same wherever we go in the world. Please consider giving back to us. South Africa, obviously, we can offer Section 18A, but what we've managed to do is get tax deductible structures in Australia. You can give a donation in Australia and get the tax deduction in London, in America, in Toronto. So that's something I'm very proud of and something we've worked really hard. And then before I go, just to say that next year is 75 years of King David's schools. Quite a story. And what we are planning are wonderful, wonderful reunions in all 5 continents where our Davidians live. So for those of you in Sydney, of course, Johannesburg, London, Toronto, New York, and Israel, we hope to see you. We hope to have a good reason to come out, have a drink, and just have a whole lot of fun celebrating 75 years of an incredible school and an incredible Jewish community that today is global, and leaders, Jewish leaders around the world, and success stories that boggle the mind. If you want to read more about some Davidians and the impact that they've made, please go onto our website. The section is Dynamic Davidians. And if you would like to present yourself as a dynamic Davidian, if you've managed to slip through our net, Alan Kaplan, we're getting you after this as a successful anesthesiologist, anesthetist. But we've got hundreds, we've got thousands, in fact, and the stories just might make the mind boggle. Carolyn, I see, is there. Batsofen Fedler, Batsofen, an incredible, amazing success story. She's on our website. Peta, Bendita, the list goes on and on. So guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. I hope I haven't gone over my 3 minutes, but just enjoy seeing each other, and over and out. Thank you.
Raylene, you're very lucky. We just hit load shedding. I'm at the office, so I lost everybody, and I'm so glad you're all okay and back, and Raylene's off. So now we are back to listening to whoever would like to speak. Who can I get to go next? Okay, Howard Sackstein. I know I keep picking on you because you make me nervous, because you're the guru of Zoom.
I think I've overdosed everyone on Zoom. So hi, I'm normally in Johannesburg, but I'm in Boston for the weekend visiting the Epstein. So it's fantastic to see Mark Epstein again. Over the last, 30 years that we haven't lived in the same country, we've actually probably spoken every single week in those 30 years. So it's amazing how enduring some of these friendships actually are. So I'm usually in Johannesburg. My life has been interesting twists and turns, which range from being a lawyer to running the country's first and second democratic elections, to being involved in a number of startup businesses in the healthcare sector, in telecommunications, and in hospitality. And I have spent a lot of time in the air, visiting about 76 countries around the world. But COVID, of course, really ended all of that, and I'm now on my first international travels since COVID ended. I had to be in the United States for work, so it was very nice that Michelle Berman reached out to me in New York, and it's been great to actually go and see a little bit of the world again. So I was working in Washington, DC, popped by Mexico for a few days, but I can't be in the US without popping by and seeing the Epsteins here in Boston. So I'll be back in South Africa next week. I think many of the people on the school I actually see on a fairly regular basis. Peta and I work together, so I speak to Peta almost every day as well. But it's fantastic to see so many familiar faces, and all I can say is it's amazing that I was the only one who stayed young while you all got so old.
Dignified, not old. Mark, I think you should take over.
Yeah, well, this is going to be a bit tough to follow Howard, who runs webinars and has become a celebrity, in South Africa. This weekend has been really interesting for me because it proves to me that I have multiple lives, and this is a South African part of my life. I've been in the United States for over 30 years, married with a son, and furthered my career here. And I don't think there's a day that goes by that doesn't allow me to think that I'm African or South African. It might be a smell, a taste, the soil that I see somewhere else, or something.
I brought him a lot of chocolates from South Africa, I may add.
Yeah, you're not seeing a full version of me. I used to be a skinny Malinki, and unlike Alan Kaplan, and I'm looking at Jonathan Kalmeyer here, who enjoy Ironman and triathlon. That's not part of my makeup, unfortunately. But anyway, so I came here, did some research, then furthered my medical career, and I'm a gastroenterologist, and was in academics for a while and have been in private practice for many years, and run a successful, and part of a very successful gastroenterology group. My wife is a physician as well in medical education, and we have a 19-year-old son who's going off to college this year. It's really amazing, as I was saying, about keeping the South African side and, you know, the American side and family side, and my wife's American, you know, integrating it all. I was a little bit apprehensive about coming on and hearing all of your stories, but our stories are linked in some way and so similar in what we experienced at King David. And what I was a little bit scared of was hearing everybody's successes and not hearing some of the foibles of the education and of our life there. But this has been really heartwarming and really, really good. Raylene and I are in touch occasionally, and her story is phenomenal. And I just echo how proud I feel for her getting involved in the foundation, etc., and allowing all of this to happen. And it's really just good to see so many people. And
Mark, I had to just come back on and tell you how emotional I am watching you. I remember we walked to the bus every single day together. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have come back on, but I just had to tell you how beautiful it was to see you.
Amazing. And, I'm an emotional guy, and many of you don't know that, so you're turning on my ocular diarrhea, you know, to keep into the profession here. But really, really good. You know, I was involved afterwards in listening to the reunion that took place last year a little bit, and got in contact with some people, and a lot of warm and interesting conversations came out of that. So great to see all of you, and I think we're well over 3 minutes.
Thank you so much. I'm going to ask Brian Siegel to join us now. So, hello, Brian.
Hi, I'm here in Plettenberg Bay. I've kind of lived an unconventional life, just like I was at school. I think I was a bit unconventional then and carried on my unconventionality. I started my own company and exported some electronics around the world very successfully. I've got 2 children, that one lives in Perth and the other one lives in London. And I'm starting a new career now, which is rather exciting. I'm starting a career around transformation in relationships, and how so many of our relationships we blame, and it causes contractions and disconnections, and how we can change it. And so I'm really, really excited to, at 58, start a new career, and that's me. Yes, thank you.
Thank you for coming on. I think we've lost Elaine, and I would have loved to have heard from him, but he said his phone's batteries died. Kevin, would you like to say hi? I know you're in Australia. No. Joan Lurie? All of you have turned your cameras off. I know Joan's spoken, but I'm just turn your cameras on, guys. Okay, who would like to go next? Michelle Berman.
So, hi, everybody. Just that you know, my maiden name was Khan. So some of us have connected through the years, been friends through school. I live in New York. I've been here for the past 30 years. I live on the North Shore of Long Island in a place called Great Neck. Married to a South African as well, but who went to Yeshiva College. We have, we have 2 daughters. One is married. They both live in Manhattan. One is married, and we recently became grandparents. So it's a wonderful new stage in our life. And my background was human resources. I worked in that field for a number of years, but now run a senior program at our synagogue. Keeps me busy, and now my new little grandson also keeps me busy.
Sweet. My mom says the reason you have children is for grandchildren. Vada, would you like to say hi? There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. I must say I'm not great at public speaking. I tend to get stage fright, so I'll just be very brave. I've been living in England for the past 20 years. Also lived in Israel for a few years. I'm Baruch Hashem, very grateful to be married to a wonderful man and have wonderful children. I think that everybody's spoken so much about their achievements, and it's very heartwarming to hear, but I always feel one of the achievements that's really a little bit invisible is, and I think it's one of our greatest achievements, is being able to, the privilege to be able to continue to raise a Jewish family. And I think that everybody out there, it's so heartwarming to see everybody talking about their families, and I can see the strong traditional values that people are carrying with them. And don't forget to add that to your list of achievements, everybody, that you've raised a Jewish family. It's not easy in these days, and it talks to a lot of values and commitments on some level. Excuse me. So I live in England. I live in a place called Gateshead, and I've been in education for a long time, and then I'm now working in community support, and it's a very enriching experience and a very enriching area to work in. It's lovely to see everybody.
Thank you so much for chatting. Stephen Flax, where in the world are you?
Hi, everybody. I'm currently in New Jersey, just outside Atlantic City at the Jersey Shore, but I live in Philadelphia, where I've been for about 37 years, I believe. I did a BCom at Wits after matric, and then some of you may remember I was the gymnast in the crowd, and was fortunate to compete at Maccabi Games in Israel, and for South Africa. And unlike Alan Kaplan, I was the athlete from very, very early on. Maybe not as active as him today, unfortunately, but I was fortunate to be offered a scholarship to come to Philadelphia to college, where I've been ever since. I did my BCom, became a CPA, and then gradually worked in various financial roles, big corporation, and then downsized to a law firm. I actually see Joel Borowski on social media, LinkedIn, through professional. He's very involved in the legal business in Melbourne, I believe. So we kind of see each other. I married my wife from Cape Town, who I met in New York City, fortunately, through someone you may know, Bryn Levy, who was in New York, and she was sharing an apartment with him. And I went to visit him for a weekend in 1991, and we've been married for almost 30 years. We have two daughters, a 22-year-old who's graduated from college teaching in the Philadelphia School District, which is quite a honorable calling, and she loves it. And my younger one is at the University of Pittsburgh and is currently in Israel for 2.5 months doing Birthright and an Onward program, which is a internship with a marketing company in Tel Aviv. So that's a phenomenal experience. So it's great to kind of keep the identity going, obviously. What else can I say? Oh, my family. I forgot about my family. I'm very fortunate. I came here with 2 suitcases by myself in '85, and over the last it took about 23 years or so for my entire family to finally move to the US. So I have a sister, 2 brothers, my parents. We're all between Philadelphia, Atlanta, Florida, and my wife Debbie's family also are between New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia. So we've had breaking of the fasts where we've had 60 people at my house, which being in another country halfway around the world is very special to keep that going. So yeah, our lives are, very established in the US, but we like to come back and visit, and, our fond memories of King David and Linksfield and, everyone from those days is very strong and alive. Great to see everybody.
Thank you for joining, and you are really lucky to have everybody so close by.
Absolutely.
Rabbi Belinda Silbert, hi. You have an incredible journey. I love the story. Wait, you're muted.
Right.
Okay, you're unmuted. Go for it.
Okay, to sum up my very strange life, I'm like Brian, been unconventional. I got married at 21. I'm twice divorced, 3 children, wonderful 34-year-old daughter in Sweden, 2 grandchildren aged 5 and 3, another daughter in Joburg, and my Lot Lamaki is a game developer aged 20. So when I left school, I lived in Britain and in Israel, eventually returned here, and I trained in opera. I was an opera singer, and later reached, I shouldn't say fame, I should say maybe infamy as a psychic medium, and have landed up now at age 57, having been ordained last year as the first female rabbi, well, first South African born female rabbi. That is where I'm at right now. I do a great deal of counseling, a lot of bereavement counseling. I think that one of the great focuses, or my great focus in life, is more philosophical, interior world, and trying to reach out. I've experienced a great deal of suffering in my adult life, and I like to alleviate suffering wherever I see it. So that's what my work is about. I think that's what I'm about as a person, and I hope that that is what I'm going to be able to help with as a rabbi. King David was not an easy time for me. Having a mother who was teaching there, a very strict mother, made things harder. And like Brian, I was bullied. So it wasn't a very easy time. However, I think it was exceptionally formative musically, creatively, and also, ironically, it made me the thinker that I am. Although we were an Orthodox environment, it is what has fed me all the years to question and to bring me to this point where I am clearly not an Orthodox rabbi. But Judaism is everything to me.
Thank you. Johnny Aarons, hi.
Hi, everyone. Good to see you all. Been a long time. Haven't seen a lot of you guys. I know I'm not good on social media, so sort of I don't get to hear everything that's going around. Yeah, some good memories at Melanie. I remember bunking school and coming to your house. It was nearby on Tregoning Street.
Absolutely.
Johnny Colmer, good to see you, John. I remember every time I go up there, I live in Linksfield, in Club Terrace nearby the school. So when I'm in the area, if I go up the ridge, I always point out your house and say, that's Johnny Colmer, as my friends, to my kids. It was a friend of mine's house. Yeah, so I've got 2 kids. I'm divorced. I have a girlfriend and she's got 2 kids who live together. My 2 boys went through King David, the one's at UCT and the other one's at Tux. One studying computer science, the other one is doing a BCom. My girlfriend's kids, the one is at King David. He just came. He was at KEPS. And just to let you know, my girlfriend is so grateful that he had to make the move from KEPS because of COVID. Because when you're at a government school, there is no online learning, and there was no education for about a year and a half. So she had to move in. And when she moved, it was such a revelation for her, and she's been so grateful to have the support that King David gives. So I thought I'd just add that. So I'm in I sell electronics and appliances, and I'm a creature of habit. Been in South Africa, I haven't been brave enough to even think about immigrating. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. Carla Bortz would like to speak next. Where are you, love?
Hi, here I am. On my island in the Caribbean. And not really. I'm sitting in Israel. I've been here for the last 30 years. I'm smiling at Vada, who's sitting in the box underneath me, because she's got 2 daughters in Israel. So when she comes to visit them, we see each other, which is really nice. So also King David has got mixed memories for me. I'll be quite honest. I grew up in a small town called Potchefstroom. And, you know, when you're in the big fish in the little sea, and then you come to the hostel particularly, and you're a tiny fish in the big pond, it's not an easy transition. But I made wonderful friendships who I've maintained until today. I still feel 16 at heart. I have 4 beautiful boys, always desperate for a girl, but God was not listening. I have to wait for my daughters-in-law. 2 boys post-army, the one's almost 25 and my baby's almost 16. Israel's amazing. And I think a great place to bring up Jewish kids. I think it is a phenomenal, opportunity to even live in Israel. It's not always simple. It's difficult with everything going on. I don't need to let you all know. But, having kids in the army and everything is tough, especially boys, combat soldiers. It's hard. I'm an occupational therapist. And for the last 13 years, I've been doing life coaching, mainly for ADHD adults. So that's me, and really nice to see all of you. I've still got a mom in Joburg, so I do come to South Africa at least once a year, and I was in contact with Peter actually about a little article, the Jewish Report. So thanks for organizing.
Carla, I think next time you come to Johannesburg, you should come see a bunch of us here. Hey, Raylene, for adult ADHD.
Okay.
I call it multitasking.
Okay.
Gary Sachs, how are you? I sent you a message when there were those horrible floods in London to see how you were doing and if your buildings were okay.
Floods in London. Were there? There's floods every day in London.
So long ago now.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Lovely to see you. I live in London, as clearly been pointed out. My story is more similar to Stephen in that I did a BCom, and then I literally left South Africa the day after I wrote my last exam. Spent about 9 months in America, in North Carolina, of all places. Then went to London, started a little furniture shop. It's all I understood in my life, and then slowly but surely grew a business, and I got into the property business. I have 4 sons, married to an English girl. My eldest is 27. He works for a company, Jones Lang LaSalle. He actually went to university at UCLA, and I have 1 child that's my second eldest is studying to be a psychologist and currently works in a autism school. And then I have one at Bristol University and one about to do his A-levels matric now and going to Edinburgh University. Other than that, my life is pretty boring. So lovely to see all of you. And if ever you come through London, please give us a call. I don't know many other people in England or in London, but not many by the looks of things.
Gary, we're going to be having a function next year in London celebrating King David's 75th year. So I'm sure you'd love to come and join us. And then you'll see that there is like a whole community of Davidians in London.
I know, but not in this year. And I'd also just like to just take the opportunity. I had the pleasure of meeting Elliot just a few months before he died in London. And what a fantastic guy. Just exactly the same, remembered small, and I was a relatively quiet kid at school, remembered like, he did remember caning me twice, which was interesting for a quiet kid.
Shame. He hated
what a
wonderful,
wonderful guy. So it's real sad that he's gone.
He really enjoyed meeting you. He spoke quite a bit about it. He did enjoy his time in London and seeing you, and yeah, he spoke quite a bit. I had the pleasure of sitting next to him. I'm in my office at the moment, and he was right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Kevin says that his internet's terrible and he's sorry he has to go. Avril, do you want to come on before you go to bed? I know you feel yucky.
Lauren, were you not in touch with you?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I'm not feeling great. I don't know if I'm coming down with the dreaded. I haven't had it yet, so maybe it's my turn. So hi, I'm the watcher. I like to watch all of you on Facebook. I think I go into social media maybe once or twice a week, and I sort of catch up, but I never seem to have a chance to finish like messaging people. But the people around this, just King David's always been in my thoughts. And in fact, I live around the corner in Morrybrook Avenue in Linksfield North. So I see King David every day. I also go up the mountain and see Jonathan Colmar's house where I went to a bar mitzvah. I remember Jonathan. I don't know if you remember me, but I remember you. So everybody has a special place in my heart. Although I did have a difficult time.
Forget you. Could never forget you.
I did have a difficult time as well. And in some ways, I think some of the boys used to bully me. You know who you are. I think one or two are on here. But I would like to tell you and clear the air that no, I'm not doof. I'm a chartered accountant, and I have my qualification in procurement and supply chain as well. And I also did an HDIP banking. I did 2 BComs. So one was to become a chartered accountant, and the other one was in economics and industrial psychology. I had to get that out there because when the boys used to say that to me, it used to freak me out. But King David did overwhelm me. But I must say, I question everything. And I echo what Belinda said. I question everything. And that's one of the reasons I started 15 years at Investec. I'm as an accountant, but I always was a transformational person. So I always had this thing that I had to fix things, fix my world, fix the things around me. I'm an organizer. And I've done that throughout my career in Investec. And then I worked for RMB and the rest of the First Rand Group for another 15 years. And I opened my own business about 3 years ago. It's called 180 Degrees. And that has a special significance for me because the 18 is my birthday. Hi. And my little emblem is a tree of life. And so it, turn around 180, 0 to 180. And I like to do business turnarounds. I've been doing that in Europe. Who's laughing? Howard Saxton. I just saw you laugh. Why? I think I saw you in Pick and Pay the other day. Well, anyway, so that's it. I'm a turnaround specialist, and I go around the world and fix businesses, and I love doing what I do. Very direct and forthright. I do get myself into trouble saying sometimes things that businesses don't like to hear, but I like to prevent them from going insolvent. So, I think that's it. I'm divorced now, but I have 2 wonderful children. My son and daughter both went to King David. My son is now
on a missile boat in Israel. He made Aliyah, and he's signed permanent force, and he's in he's going to the Technikon, which is like the MIT of Israel. I'm very, very proud of him. And my daughter is just doing her final year of honors. So my son's 23, my daughter's 22, and she's doing her final year of honors in English. And so it's English, publishing and editing. So both very diverse, one very creative, other one kind of mathematical, and runs the whole kind of missile the missile boat's under section, or at the bottom of the missile boat where they run all the radars, etc. He's in charge of all of that. He's like built up his whole career there, and I'm very proud of him because it's very hard not to have seen my son for the last 2 years through COVID, etc. But I have gone back now and seen him, and I must say I'm very, very proud that I'm a King Davidian and a Jewish person that has had the experience of King David, because not all my friends who are Jewish had that experience. And I do know that it shaped me and shaped who I am today, and has shaped my children too. So thank you to everybody. I might not have always had the best experience at King David, but it certainly shaped me into the person I am today, and I'm very grateful for that.
Thank you so much, Avril. I'm going to call Jonathan on because he's got to go back to work soon, and then it'll be Larry and then Peter. Hi, Jonathan. He was here 2 seconds ago. Did he leave already?
There we go.
Hello.
Yeah, hi. So hi, everybody. First of all, I'd like to congratulate you on this amazing effort. I think it's an amazing thing, and I hope we don't have to wait another 40 years, because if you add 40 years to most of our lives, we're all way above the average age limit, life expectancy. So we shouldn't wait. Anyway, I actually think there's a lot will come out of this anyway, not related to everybody meeting again. So well done, congratulations. It's really nice to see everybody. The thing that I'd really like to get out of this is find out how many people are living in Israel that I didn't know are living in Israel from our year. My name is Jonathan, not Anthony, as it was 40 years ago. So if anyone wants to get hold of me, you can just find me on Google. I'm a sports medicine physician. So I'm a doctor of sports medicine, so I'm the only one in Jerusalem. So you just type in Dr. Jonathan Kaplan, you'll get me straight away. And I'd be very happy to make contact with people, especially who are living in Israel and who want to make contact, and especially those who want to come to live in Israel, because I see part of my function in life is also to help people come home to the home of the Jewish people. I have 5 wonderful children, 4 are married, and 13 grandchildren, all around different places in Israel. I've been here for 32 years, and they've been the best 32 years of my life. It was the best decision to come home, and I hope that everybody eventually will come home and we can meet in person. So that's what I have to say. And once again, congratulations, a great effort.
Glad you could all make it. Larry, hi, where are you? Larry Radman said he needs to go soon, so I just want to say hi before he runs. Do you want to turn your camera on? We can't hear you. No. Peter, while Larry's sorting out his sound, do you want to say hi?
Cool. Hi. So Jonathan, you and I obviously can't be the same age. You must be much older than me, because I've got a 16-year-old son and a 13-year-old son. So how is it possible that we were in the same year?
Very
No,
simple.
actually,
Depends when we started.
yeah, I started late. I left King David. I went to Rhodes University and studied journalism because, yes, it was the thing that I really wanted to do. And it has been a very exciting road for me. It took me, I started on Jewish newspapers, then went to Israel, spent 3.5 years in Israel. Actually, before I left for Israel, I got involved in politics. And when I did leave for Israel, I actually thought I wasn't coming back because I couldn't live in a country where I couldn't explain, if I couldn't convince my parents that there was something wrong with apartheid. Then I wasn't going to be able to convince anybody and nothing was going to change. However, it did. And after 3.5 years in Israel, Mandela was released and I came home and started working at the Sunday Times, and was there for 6.5 years, then went to launch the Sunday Independent as part of the launch team, and then went to Carte Blanche. And when I was at the managing editor of Carte Blanche, I met and married my now ex-husband and had 2 fabulous boys when I was 41 and 43. And when my oldest son was a year old, I decided I needed to work for myself because I didn't really want to be the kind of mother who saw her children sleeping all the time, because, you know, I'd waited a long time to become a mom, and I didn't want to be that kind of mom. So I worked for myself for a long time, editing magazines, until Howard Sackstein told me it was time to come and edit the Jewish Report. And it's almost 6 years now, and I haven't looked back. I love what I do, and I love the community. And even though I'm a little bit the periphery, living in Greenside, it's a joy to do what I do and work with a team that I have, and to work with Howard. Life is good. I'm happily divorced with 2 magnificent boys. Yeah, that's me.
Thank you, Peter. I'm going to ask Tracy to come on now because she's got to run. She's going to an engagement. Larry, is your sound sorted?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay. Let Trace quickly on, and then I'd love you to come. Tracy's got to leave now, and I don't want to miss her story. Hope you don't mind.
That's fine.
Thank you. Tracy?
Sorry about that. School was, I have very fond memories. I left school. I'm sure you all remember I was going out with Jonathan Teraspolsky. Susan and I were best friends at school. We got married when I was 20. I'd finished my degree, finished my psychology honors, and had my son while I was busy with my honors, my eldest. So I have 4 kids. My boys are 34 and 32. My daughters are 28 and 23. 2 of them are married, my eldest son and my older daughter. They just got married because of the pandemic. They managed to get married only now. No grandchildren yet. And they're all planning on making Aliyah. Jonathan, you'll be happy to hear that, and hopefully we'll follow at some point thereafter. So I was married to Jonathan for 20 years. We got divorced, got 4 beautiful children. I then married my present husband, Shlomo Milner, and he's got 3 children. So I'm now a mommy of 7 children and a few in-law children. And and I've worked as a bookkeeper, accountant, and I run my own catering business. So I'm still in finance. I work a full day as an accountant, and then I do catering on the side, and following my passions basically. And I'm still studying. So finishing my BCom at this point. I have one subject to go, and then I'll probably do a tax degree or something to follow. But I love studying, love reading, love working, love what I do, love life. So, but great to hear all of you and catch up.
Thank you, Tracy. Larry, I'm glad you're able to sort your sound out. Hi.
Thanks, Gilla. Thanks so much. It's really wonderful to have the opportunity to partake and just to share my story. It's so nice to listen to everyone else's story. So I landed up in Perth, Western Australia. There are a few of us actually in Perth. So Louis Morovsky's there, Russell Staines there, and there's a couple of others. But I left Perth. I was in Perth for 22 years. I went to Perth to join my family. So my whole family went to live in Perth. Perth's a wonderful city, by the way, very isolated, but it's a beautiful city. And then I moved to Melbourne 4 years ago, mainly from a career perspective. And I've got 3 daughters. My oldest daughter, Sammy, she's an emergency nurse in Perth. My second daughter, Meg, is an OT, and my youngest is studying engineering here in Melbourne. I see quite a few of the Davidians that are here in Melbourne. I caught up twice with Elliot, once in Perth and once in Melbourne. It was terrific to see him. So I think from my point of view, I've had lots of success, thank God, in many areas professionally and in my career. But I think for me, one of the real takeouts from me from King David was, I think, really just fostering in me a great love of being Jewish and, being connected to both, a Jewish life and the state of Israel, and a desire to perpetuate that. And so I was very lucky in Perth that I got an opportunity to get involved in the Jewish Day School in Perth, which is Carmel School. And I landed up eventually being the president of the school. We spoke, I think Raylene spoke about, fee assistance, which I know is in the context of King David, but I feel very blessed that I had the opportunity to assist many, many, many families to provide their children with a Jewish education and to grow and develop an environment where kids could learn how to be Jewish, how to be Zionistic, etc. And I got that all from King David. I wouldn't have got that from anywhere else. So to me, that's one of the real legacies that I feel I took from King David. But look, wonderful to see everyone. I feel it's a shame though, because Hello? Hello? Am I still on?
Yes, sorry. I'm just somebody had unmuted. I've muted them. Carry on.
Okay. No, I was just going to say that the shame is that, when I see all the people on this call, of course I know everyone from, spending many years together, but I never really got to know so many people on this group. And I feel that if life had been a little bit different at school, I probably would have made a lot more friends because it all seems that you've got some amazing lives and stories. So, but who knows, maybe we might connect at some stage. Anyway, thanks, Gilla. That's me.
Thanks. We'll see you in Sydney next year for our 75th birthday.
Melbourne.
No. You're going to come to Sydney.
Okay. Okay.
I'm giving you advance warning. We'll see you in Sydney.
All right. Very good.
Hello, Raymond.
Hello, Glila. Hello, everybody. Just wanted to, sorry, I've got guests that are here that have come from far. My story is very simple. I love King David. I had a great time. I left King David and studied engineering at Wits University. I then went into software development, managing software projects for 30 years or 35 years. I then my father got sick, and he said to me, come into his business. I trained my father in his business. We deal in shipping containers. Along the way, got married at 26. I've got two children, a daughter of turning 30 this year and a son of 27. Thank God they're both married. My son got married 3 months ago to Brian Siegel's niece. We didn't even know at the time of the wedding that Brian was Ellie's niece. We only found out after, because Brian came up to me and said to me, listen, do you remember me? And I said, no, I don't. He says, listen, I'm Brian Siegel and Ellie's my niece. So we connected again that way. And thank God I've got 3 wonderful grandchildren. And life in South Africa it's okay. It's a tough environment here, but it's good to be in South Africa. And that's my story.
Thank you, Raymond. I'm now going to ask Bendita to sign on.
There we go. Thank you, Gila, and great to see everybody and to hear how well everybody seems to be, and the successes that you've all made with your lives. So, yeah, I wanted to say that King David had a huge impact on my life in a number of respects. Having come from a small town, Vereeniging, I only had the privilege of being a King David for 3 years. And in our time, that was 8, 9 and matric. Now they call it grades. And was at the hostel for those 3 years. And the impact was great for the following reasons. Firstly, I met my husband there at the age of 15, Mark Gordon. We met at the hostel. And thank God we're still married. Not easy to maintain a marriage after how many 32 years, but we still married, and a number of close friends that I made at the school and at the hostel that I'm still in contact with today, you know, and we may not speak to each other often because we all live on different continents, but the bonds don't change. You know, when you know people from school days, they love you and are connected to you for who you are as a person, not for what you did in your career or the size of your house or the kids that you've had. So they're really special bonds. And then I must say that there are a number of Davidians of our year that are still in Johannesburg and some in Cape Town, and that we are all very connected and have very soft spots for each other, go to each other's weddings, and it just, and those of you'll see on the group here. And the impact again of King David, all 3 of our boys went to King David, first King David Santon and King David Linksfield, and had amazing education there. And all 3 of them, all the boys are rugby players, cricket players, soccer players, and did really nicely at King David. I've got one chartered accountant who's 29 and living with his fiance in Israel, just made Aliyah. The other 2 are in Cape Town, one on his way, a few months away from being a chartered accountant, and the 3rd one doing business science at UCT. And yeah, I must say I was also privileged to keep my connection with King David on PTAs and for fundraising, and it was important to me to give back to the school because I felt I got so much out of King David. And I feel sad for those people who felt that they could have got more or were bullied, or, you know, but I guess those are very impactful years. I did a CA, I specialized in franchising and helping small businesses, and I'm very happily retired now. It's a crazy thing, you know, when you haven't got time, you're raising kids who need your time. And then when you decide to retire, you've got all the time in the world, but no kids to raise, because if you've done your job, okay, they don't need you anymore, or just a little bit. And yeah, I still wonder what we're still doing in South Africa, in Johannesburg, but I know one of the reasons is the amazing people that come from South Africa, and all of you are South Africans. It doesn't matter where you live and which continent, but we have amazing people from South Africa. So yeah, kola kavod to Gila and Raylene, and to everybody for sharing your stories. Thanks for letting me share mine.
Thank you for coming on. I appreciate that. And for all the photos you sent me. Let's hear from Bev and Lawrence.
Hi, everybody. So nice to see so many familiar faces. Lawrence and I are still happily married. My husband needs no introduction to all of you. We love living in South Africa. We've been very happy here. We've had a good, thank God, great life, and we have got 3 beautiful children. Our oldest is 30 and she's in social media. She's very creative. She's a daughter, and my other daughter is a dietitian at the Donald Gordon, and she just got married. And our son is at Stellenbosch University and loving life. Yeah, and we're so blessed because we have all our family in South Africa. So in Johannesburg, in fact, so we have a Shabbos every week of 20 people. We still have both our parents are still alive. My children have grown up with 4 grandparents, 4 wonderful grandparents. So it's really made for a good life. My sisters live right around the corner. We're very close. The nieces and nephews and cousins are like siblings. So it's been wonderful. I did a fine arts degree after school, and I've been painting and drawing and exhibiting ever since. And I also ran my own art school for 33 years, teaching children and adults, and I absolutely loved every minute of my job. It was a privilege. And yeah, that's about all. Lawrence will tell you a bit about himself.
Okay, so 33 years later, we're still together, obviously. One of the things I noticed when you were putting up your pictures was that I actually was one of the few people on this call who started off at King David Nursery School. I think Johnny Kelmer, maybe Johnny Aaron's Petter, I think was there as well. So there might be a couple of us who started off, Alan Kaplan at King David Nursery School. So we've been all the way through.
It's Stephen Flex.
Stephen Flex, that's right. More than I thought. So I've for the past 23 years, been working in the online gaming industry, online casino business more specifically. And in the last 7 or 8 years, I've been involved in a business called Betway, which is a sports betting business, quite a different vocation to most of you. Yeah, very happy doing it, very happy in Joburg. In my spare time, play a lot of golf. In fact, I'm still in my golf clothes and I've got my golf shoes on. I got back from an early tee off time an hour or 2 ago. And yeah, all going great. As Bev said, all our families are still here except for my brother. I'm sure some of you see him in Sydney from time to time. And very happy in Joburg, despite all the rhetoric and nonsense that goes on here. That's me.
Thank you. Besides it being cold, I actually also like being in Joburg. And I'm also not from Joburg, so I'm from a little place called Parys. Anyhow, enough about me. Sheldon, Dick, how are you doing?
Hi, everyone. I'm good. I've been in Israel for nearly 30 years. I live in Netanya. I'm married to Yael Friedman from Pretoria. She was actually head girl of Carmel in our year. So I think she came to our matric dance as well, not with me. I met her afterwards. So we've been married for nearly 36 years. We have 5 kids, all in Israel with us. 3 of them are married. We have 6 grandchildren. And keeping it brief, just to say that I think I said it on the last call as well. I have very fond memories of my school life at King David. I loved school, even though I wasn't the best student, but I had a great time. That's it from me, from Netanya in Israel.
Thank you so much. Philippa, you're also feeling yuck. Don't you want to come and say hello? And then you can also go back to sleep. Let me help you unmute. Hold on.
You.
There we go. Hi.
Hi, everyone. It's so beautiful to see all of you. It really warms my heart and makes me feel better, but I am still sick. I've got a bad flu. I was also in the hostel with all my beautiful friends on this call, and I'm from Barberton, and so King David was very special. I was a country girl. I understand what Brian went through because I was in his class, he and Clinton's class, and I saw what went on. Yeah, it was difficult, but anyway, I've got such beautiful memories of King David, and I'm still such good friends with most of people in the hostel that were in my dorm. So I'm so grateful for that. And I live in Israel now. My daughter came to the army. She's finished, she's studying. She actually married a lovely South African. But we lived in Canada. We lived in Vancouver for 24 years. And my son, who's 30, still lives there. And I work for him, actually. He owns a education technology company that builds solar-powered classrooms in refugee camps in Africa. So I do writing and research for him for his online library. And I just wanted to say I'm so sad about all the people our year that passed away, and may their memories be for a blessing, and that we all think of them, and how lucky we are to have these lives, that beautiful children. Our trajectories are so special, all of us. I'm sure we're all doing activism and continuing our Jewish education for our children and grandchildren. And it's just wonderful to see all of you. Lots of love, and God bless to all of you.
Thank you for coming on, and I hope you feel better. Shem, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I'm going to miss some of your talks. Thank you so much.
I'm recording it, and you can see it tomorrow.
Thank you so much. Lots of love to everyone.
Thank you. Anthony Katz, you're in Cold Joburg. How are you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, all good.
Let me turn around. You can see me better. Taking my glasses. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Keep going.
Okay, so King David was very special for me. Made lots of friends, and studied languages because of King David, because I did Latin and Hebrew. So I continued with foreign languages, and then I went into computers. So I've lectured, translated, interpreted. I worked at Sun City as a concierge linguistics at the Palace Hotel. And now I'm actually working for a call center. It's based in America, and what we do, there's an app called DoorDash, which is like Mr. D or Uber Eats, and we activate merchants in Stuttgart in Germany. So I speak German and I hear German the whole day at the moment. And besides that, I'm teaching foreign languages as well. So I've always been involved with languages and then computers. And never got married, was engaged. And I had a girlfriend recently. We're still good friends, and so I'm looking to find someone again.
Thank you for letting. Good to know. Thank you. Who can I call on next? Lauren. Oh, Doron. Are you waving at me, Doron?
Yeah, I was waving at you. I've also got a bit of limited time, so I'll
go for it.
tell my story very, very quickly. Couple of people who bring back some really fond memories. Peter's parents, late parents, were my next door neighbor for about 15 years. And I remember them very, very fondly after they moved out of their house in Linksfield. But I think the thing that will flip Peter out is I did things a little bit in reverse. So I got married early. had my kids early, so I've been married for nearly 36 years. I've got 2 kids, a daughter of 35 and a son of 33. My daughter is currently finishing her PhD in finance and is a lecturer at the University of Johannesburg. And so is her husband. Her husband heads up the law faculty at UJ. My son is an actuary, married a medical doctor, living in Berlin. And I have a 16-year-old grandson. So, Peter, there's one for you. My daughter is married to an Afrikaans guy with a surname Nel, but my grandson goes to Yeshiva College. He's a high-functioning autistic kid, and we love him to bits. As mentioned earlier, I'm in South Africa for another 5 weeks, and then taking up a position in the Netherlands. I always said I have no idea what I want to be when I'm big, so maybe one day I'll find out when I move to the Netherlands, maybe I'll find out what I want to be one day. But I'm going to head up operations for a global medical supply company throughout Europe, the Middle East, Asia, and Australia. So some exciting times ahead. My wife was ex-King Davidian, 3 years behind us, a girl by the name of Kanafine. We're still very, very happily married, and I sometimes look at her and think to myself, how did I get older when she never does? Few of the people that I still see around, it was great to see Philippa. I used to be friendly with her husband Des as well, so that it was really, really great to see Philippa on the call. Haven't seen her for many, 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 many years after she moved. And I'm still in touch with 1 or 2 King Davidians who are not involved in any of the social media stuff. So I'm still in touch with Gregory Scher, who lives in Manchester and runs a legal practice in Manchester and is still the biggest Manchester United supporter on the face of the earth. And I still see Shlomo Lifshitz every once in a while. He's not interested in any form of social media at all, but I still see him every once in a while. That's pretty much me.
Thank you, and we wish you all the best when you are in the Netherlands. Keep us posted. Let us hear how you're doing.
Thanks very much. I see Didi Marman is on the call. She's friendly with my brother in Israel, so that's pretty cool as well. Love to hear from her.
Has Didi left? I think she said she had to go. Have you got a brother here in Johannesburg?
No, my brother's lived in Israel since 1979. Well, in and out of Israel since 1979. For those of you who know him, a few of you do. My brother's a Catholic priest. Also from King David.
I know exactly who that is. David,
yep,
yeah?
That's it, yeah. So he's quite an interesting guy. He's written a number of different books. He speaks 13 languages. He's got 3 PhDs, a master's degree, and is a Jesuit priest living in Jerusalem.
He took the Pope around Israel?
He did take the Pope around Israel, but I visited him in many, many countries around the world. I've spent time with him in the United States, Egypt, Israel. I went to a mass actually that he headed up in Cairo in French, which was quite surreal. So that was something quite interesting as well.
I speak to your brother quite a bit. I love hearing everything he does, about from when he met the nun to anything.
Yeah, interesting
He's
guy.
Very interesting. Joel's not your brother, then he must be a cousin.
No. So Joel and Linda and everybody else are a completely different family. The most amazing thing is we're not related at all, but my father and his dad were very, very close friends growing up. And I think there's also a couple of people on this call, Brian Schimmel and Howard, who were at Bernard Patley. And we were in nursery school together from Bernard Patley nursery school through to standard 1. And then we all came across to King David. I think a little bit like Brian and Belinda as well. I was one of the bullied people. So my memories of King David are not fond at all. My memories of some of the people at King David are fond, but of the school itself, I have no positive memories whatsoever of King David as a school. So that's unfortunate, but it's great to see everybody and interact with everybody. People like Alan Kaplan who I haven't seen for 40 years.
When you come for lunch on Friday, we'll make a positive memory on the school ground. We'll go for a walk. You'll see.
Gila, I would absolutely love to come for lunch on Friday. Unfortunately, I'm in Cape Town for a couple of days, and then I'm flying off to the Netherlands for a few days as well. But if I had half an opportunity, and I'm sure I will have half an opportunity, I'd love to come past the school again and see you guys. It'd be great.
Phone and we will be here to see you.
Fantastic. Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Sure. Lauren Langhan, would you like to say something?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, thank you, Gilla, for organising. Some of you I saw, I can't even remember when it was, a few months ago during COVID, Nadia Bilchik got everyone on Zoom. And there are quite a few people on here now who are on that as well. I've been in London for 36 years. I finished my degree at Wits, and I came to London to do a postgrad in Montessori education and ended up being a director of studies at a Montessori training college, and for a number of years ran workshops all over the world, training Montessori teachers. And then decided to go back to university, and I did a postgrad in counseling and interpersonal skills. And I then decided I really wanted to work with children again, but in a therapeutic way. So I studied at the Tavistock in London, doing psychoanalytic work with young children, and that's what I currently do. So I'm based in primary schools. I work for myself, so I'm a consultant. And since COVID, I have a waiting list beyond measure, which has been good for business, but really quite alarming as to the effects on children's mental health, a lot more anxiety. Definitely, I have seen a lot of breakdown in marriages and how that has affected children. So it's been an interesting time for me work-wise. I have 2 boys myself, very happily married. Also did a stint in Zurich for 4.5 years where I worked in middle school as a counsellor. So that was also another experience that was very interesting. And yeah, I think King David shaped me in many ways. I came from Zimbabwe, so I also only did the last 3 years and was in the hostel. But I think from having a very conservative education in Zimbabwe, where really you just said yes, no, ma'am, King David opened my eyes enormously to education, how you can get children to creatively think, how to have child-led education, and it definitely shaped what I do and how I work, I think. Yeah, so that's me, I think. I have very close connections to the friends I made in the hostel. I'm still very much in contact with my hostel friends. And also some school friends who are not on this, but I have very, very fond memories of my time at King David. Thank you.
Thank you for joining, and sounds great. Melanie, are you leaving?
No.
Are you leaving?
Not yet. I'm coming back.
I just thought you were going to sleep.
No, I told you we don't sleep here.
I know. All right, David Froman, how are you?
Netflix.
Enjoy.
Hi.
Hi, Dave.
Sure, I've had so little contact with school for so long. It's really quite something just listening to everybody's stories. And I think we all put on this planet to make each other's lives easier. And if I was responsible for making anybody's life harder at any stage, please forgive me. I'm blessed to have 3 incredible daughters. And the thing I'm most proud of is that I think thanks to Elliot Wolf, I've never ever raised my voice to any of my kids. My oldest, Jamie, is 27. She's doing her articles with Deloitte. My middle daughter, Jessie, is at Delft University in Holland, where she's doing her master's in architecture. And my baby, Gilly Jo, is at NYU at Tisch, where she wants to be famous in the film industry, and we wait to see how that journey turns out. I really feel like I've lived the most blessed life. I had to endure national service for 2 years after finishing school. And I then came down to UCT, where I just was incredibly happy in an expanded world. I was very blessed to meet a woman in Amsterdam in 1986, who I married in 1992. It was a really, really unique and beautiful love story. Just before we went into COVID, she was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Through COVID and lockdown, I spent every minute of the 13 months it took her to die. It's been a hell of an experience losing her and being touched by death. She taught me, if anything, kindness. I found that I live in Hart Bay for a reason. It's a microcosm of the rest of South Africa. We have a coloured community of predominantly fishermen and drugs and gangs of about 40,000 people. And we have a black community in Imizamiyet of about 80,000 people. And then there are 40,000 people living in the valley. There's incredible goodwill in this community. There are over 140 registered NGOs. And I was fortunate enough to sell my business in 2013 and spend the last decade with my family, particularly there. And now that she's gone, I'm finding a real pull to get involved in this community. We currently run a project here where we're growing 100 vegetable circles in the valley, and we sell vegetables and we supply 60% of the vegetables into the communities that need good nutrition. We are busy building a new boxing club in the township. We work very closely with the Hart Bay Football Club. And my big challenge and opportunity at the moment is to build an iconic circus school in the heart of Cape Town for Zip Zap Circus School. I never loved what I did to make money, but I'm really loving my opportunity just to make a difference. And I really feel, for anybody that left South Africa after school, I always feel that, I know everybody feels they belong here, but you really are missing an incredible second half of the movie. I think I'm very bullish on Cape Town. I've never really been a fan of Johannesburg, but I love being here and I love the opportunities that I see from day to day, and it's just nice to connect with you all.
I'm so sorry for your loss. I wish you a long life. So
Thank
sorry.
you.
Mark, how are you doing and where are you?
Hi there. So I'm in the UK, in London. And first of all, just thank you very much for organising it. I think these things are, I mean, they obviously bring up lots of memories and emotions from the past, but I think it's also really interesting to see what people are up to and the different lives and different experiences that people have had and the lives that they're leading. So I've been in the UK for just over 25 years. Never thought that I'd leave South Africa. But I met my wife, who was in South Africa on holiday, and it was a holiday romance, and kind of one thing led to another, and here I am. We have 4 kids, 2 boys, 2 girls. The oldest 2 have finished university and doing post-grad studies. Then my eldest daughter's at university, and the youngest is in final year of school. And yeah, the time has just suddenly flown by, and here we are. But it's really great to see everyone and to catch up, and I'm really enjoying it. So apologies if my voice is a bit crackly. I'm down with COVID at the moment. So.
Oh, that's dreadful.
I mean, the worst things, right?
In the beginning, when somebody had COVID, you were like so concerned, and they were like isolated, and everybody was worried. Exactly. And now if you got COVID, it's like such an inconvenience, and you're an inconvenience. And
yeah, that's absolutely true.
Well, I hope you get better soon.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do you want to say anything else? I cut you off.
No, that's all good. I'm happy to just sit here and listen to what everyone else has been up. are up to. So that's great.
We wish you better soon. Linda Lurie, how are you?
Hi, everybody. So first of all, vidas largas, as we say in Ladino, for David, for your wife. And just incredible to see everybody's faces. So many years have passed, and yet it feels like yesterday. Marky, I remember you calling me Sarge, and I tell my kids that that was what I was called all the time, because I always used to instruct people in what to do. I think I still do it. So remember that well. Lynn from Newmarket Street, it's that yesterday. Lynn from the top of the road. And Carla, I went past your house the other day. I drove past. So I'm in Johannesburg. I'm married like Peter a lot later. I have a child who's in matric now at King David, and a 16-year-old who's in at Torah Academy. So 2 boys. I've been very privileged to have them at such a late stage. I started off as a physiotherapist, very involved in alternative therapies, from acupuncture to body alignment technique. And I was fascinated with the mind-body-spirit connection. When my first child was born, I left physio and was a mom for 18 years. And I've now started recently working in admin for my brother, who's Joel, by the way, Gila. Joel Newhouse is my brother. My claim to fame. I adore him. So that's what I'm doing.
I also adore him, Linda.
Yeah, he's a very special human being. God bless him, and everything good. But just very special memories. I was also at King David from nursery school to matric. Pet, I remember your cousin Alan. I was helping him to wrap his school books, his nursery school books, because he couldn't do it. So there are lots of memories from really, really long ago. And just for whoever doesn't get the Jewish Report, it's an incredible read. My family can't wait. We all argue who's going to get the first chance to read it. So well done to Peter, and well done, Howie, for getting on board. And just special memories of an incredible time there. Mr. Wolf, who was so amazing, and it's such a huge loss. And that's it. Thank you for organizing. Very special to connect with everybody and to see some of the faces for the first time, probably in 40 years, and others I've seen a little bit more recently. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Shauna, have you finished your deadline thingies?
No, not finished. It's going to take me a long time. I'm just going to talk anyway.
Quickly?
Yeah, I'll talk now. I was only at King David for a year at Linksfield. I came also from the country, from Northern Natal. And my background was a convent for many years, and then an Afrikaans high school. So King David was also a little bit of a shock for me initially. I forged very good relationships with some of the people in the hostel and at the school, and I am still very friendly with those girls. I have a great warmth towards them. I went to Victory Park for the latter 3 years because my parents moved up from the country and moved into the Victory Park area. After school, I did a medical degree. So lovely to see Mark and Alan on the group, and a couple of people that were at med school with me. Lovely to see Carla. And I finished medicine. I started specializing, met my husband, who is a bit older than me, and went to live in Botswana with him. And did a bit of GP, chucked my specialization, did a bit of GP work there, and dabbled in GP. And we moved back to South Africa in about 2002. And I have 3 sons, gorgeous sons. My eldest is 27. He lives in Cape Town. He did engineering, biomedical, and then electrical. And he's in big data now. And my middle one has gone a similar path. He's in Johannesburg with me. And my youngest is with Bendita's child in Cape Town doing the same sort of degree, best friends. And I lost my husband in June of 2020. And since then, I actually don't dabble that much in medicine. I'm actually dabbling in business. I'm not as adept at figures as he was, and so it takes me a little bit longer. But yeah, post-COVID, I'm still trying to run the business. And that's my story. I live in Linksfield. All 3 of my kids went to Linksfield, and they all forged wonderful relationships with friends in Linksfield. So many of my youngsters' friends are in Cape Town with him, and there's a wonderful camaraderie there. And that's about it. That's my story.
Thank you, Shauna. I'm just trying to see if has Robin, are you back from your call?
Yeah, I am.
You want to turn your camera on?
Yeah, hold on. Here I am. I think, sorry guys, you're not going to, that's me. Hi everyone. Yeah, well, for me, this is really incredible. Just listening to everyone shares and really bringing back so many memories. Yeah, like for me, just listening is not so much. I've obviously taken in what you're all saying and where you all are in your lives, but it's more just looking at the faces and the memories. I can't stop looking at Peter and just remembering that incredible party. I think that was the first party we actually had, with the kissing booth under the stairs or somewhere. That was a great party, and yeah, also sad to think some of those wonderful people that were at the party that aren't with us today. I also want to take the opportunity. I know a lot of people have left. There are not so many people on the group. I just want to take the opportunity to say sorry to anyone that I may or could have bullied. You know, there's always so much talk about the boys and the boys bullying and this and that, but I definitely was a wild girl. I still am at 57 in a different way. I don't bully. I give love. I live in Shanghai, in China. I've been here for 21 years. Actually,
amazing.
Like I think the last 57 days I've been in lockdown, which I'm sure some of you have seen the news, what's going on here. So really, really living a bit of insanity. But that's something else. And yeah, and like, I just want to say, like, my fondest memories are of King David. I have 3 kids that have grown up in China, going to international schools, which makes it that part of their life from a very young age has been having to say goodbye, having to quickly make friends, and having quickly to say goodbye, and dealing with this kind of loss and connection loss all the time. And I often talk to them about what I had growing up from grade 1 to Form 3. And for me, it was a really, really hard thing. And it's something that has stayed with me. Having left King David, having left South Africa, really feel I was like ripped away when we moved to Israel. And those years, you know, obviously I had 3 years at schooling in Israel and a whole life, but never lived up to, never came close to what King David was. I think of King David often. I think of the tuck shop. I think of the hamburgers, you know, just, wow, everything. And of course, for me, the swimming pool. So it was great getting a picture of the swimming pool at the beginning when you guys put up the slides. And yeah, that's pretty much me. I have 3 kids. My youngest is 15. I've got 15, 18, and 19. My eldest is in Holland. My second child, my daughter, is on her way to Holland. And yeah, and who knows, if COVID continues the way it is, I probably will be looking to close this chapter in China. So anyway, really great seeing you all. Take care and love from Shanghai.
Thank you so much and keep safe. Lynn, I think you're the last person to speak and then everyone's had a turn. Am I correct? Lynn disappeared. Lynn?
Hi there, can you hear me now?
Ah, we can. Hello.
Hi there, yes. I was one of the people at King David that often flew under the radar. So I'm familiar with some of you, but not many of you. Also one of the people that didn't have a pleasant experience at King David, one of the people that was bullied. But since then, life has taken off. I left school, lived in Israel for a number of years, came back. I now live in Cape Town. I have a PhD in clinical psychology where I have my own practice, and also a professor of psychology at UCT. And also spent 8 years in Zurich giving a training as a Jungian analyst. So that's my passion, working with people's unconscious processes, interpreting dreams, and trying to bring some meaning in life. I live in a very beautiful part of Cape Town, right on the beach, long walks with my pack of Alaskan Malamutes. And we have quite a glorious space and a beautiful life. So it's lovely to see you all and a pleasure to hear some of your stories, see some familiar faces, and yeah, see that everybody's carved a path in life. Thank you, Gila, for organizing.
Only my pleasure. Thank you for coming on. Right, I just want to check, is everybody okay and happy for me to share your your location and contact details? I'll share it in a document tomorrow when I send out the recording. Hello, Joan. Hi. JT, or is that Joanne?
Hi, Janine.
Oh, sorry. Hi, Janine.
Hi. Okay. Sorry, I was on a call earlier. I couldn't come in. Again, as I've picked up, I wasn't listening all the time. I've come in and out. Some good memories, some not so great memories, but I suppose a formative experience from a Yiddishkeit point of view at King David, certainly from a Hebrew language point of view. I've been in Sydney for 20 years. All 3 of my kids landed up at Mariah, equivalent to King David. Here, there is no Hebrew compulsory for matric, which was, I believe, to the detriment to a lot of the kids. So from that point of view, Hebrew for matric, even though I battled with it, was great, because when we do go to Israel, it's great. I can make myself understood. I can talk a little bit, get away with it. From a Yiddishkeit point of view as well, as a couple of people have left, I think I saw Ellen Kaplan has left and a couple of the others. I was at King David from nursery school right through. And so, yeah, a Yiddishkeit point of view, it definitely had an impact. I've got 3 kids. All 3 are now in Israel. All 3 have joined the army. as Khayalin Bidem. My daughter's about to finish. And yeah, that's where we are at the moment. So good and bad. Nice to see you, Lynn. I saw Carla somewhere before. I'm not sure if she's still there. Melanie, I recognize your face eventually, but I cannot remember your maiden name. Berkman.
And yours?
Prague. I was Prague.
Yes.
As Lynn said, a little bit under the radar. Yeah. Okay, but it's good. And again, a lot of people have gone, but it's interesting to see. I noticed a lot of the girls are wearing shaitels. It's nice to see. And as Vada said, again, a lot of people have mentioned all their achievements. I mean, I did a commerce degree in those days. If you did commerce, for a girl to do commerce, it was very unheard of. Shortly after I started commerce, there were other girls going into it. But it's not the achievements, as you say. To me, it's the Yiddishkeit, because I think you're very fortunate in South Africa at the moment. Whereas for whatever reason, the Yiddishkeit has come together. When we were all at school, everyone was bunking prayers. Nobody was interested. And again, there are plenty of people who were in our year who haven't been on tonight. And today they're very, very from, okay, whether it's here or in Israel or wherever it is. So I think it's fortunate, because in Sydney, especially at the moment, it's sad. There is so much intermarriage going on. So many of the boys and girls are going out, marrying out, and that's the way it is. But, you know, thank you, Gilla, for organizing, and just may everybody just be happy, healthy, and only know simchas. I don't know if the others, and I can't see Shana. I wish you long life. I know it's you mentioned a couple of years ago. And David, yes, if you're listening or you're still there as well. Aruchat Yamu. Thank you.
Thank you for staying on. Now, I believe everybody's had a turn to speak. Let's unmute, and then you'll see how much fun it is when everybody speaks.
No.
Or not, as the case may be. Just a quick message from my side. David Froman, I'm in Cape Town next week. I haven't seen you since the army. Right? We were in the Air Force together, whether you remember or don't.
No.
But I'm coming down to Cape Town on Thursday for work, and I'm going to be there through Sunday. Would absolutely love to touch base with you if that would be okay.
Yeah, Tyrone, that would be amazing. You want to take down my number?
Yeah, give me your number.
082.
Are you not on the WhatsApp group?
I am, yeah, but I'm making it easy. 082-452-0286.
0286. David, I'll give you a buzz when I'm down in Cape Town.
Lovely.
It'd be incredible to see you, man.
Yeah.
Cool.
Paula, I'd love to connect. We hope
Can you carry on for days? You can carry on for days.
Anybody else come to Cape Town, give me a call. I'm going to run. Lovely to connect.
Just a quick one. Lynn, weren't you blonde at school?
Not as far as I remember.
Okay.
Light brown.
It's close enough.
Besides
from all the swimming.
Shauna, I can see a little bit of grey. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm totally grey except at the back. Started at about 19 and I've never touched it. So
at least all of you still have hair.
Gilla, are there any stats of where our class is in the world, of who's in what country?
So what I'll do is when I email you everyone's contact details tomorrow, I'll let you know where it is. Just as a matter of interest for today, there were, let me just have a look, there were 14 people who signed on from Australia. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 from Israel, 1 New Zealand, and then 26. 22 from South Africa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the UK, 7, and 13 from Australia. Yeah,
Right.
but when I send out tomorrow, I'll put where everybody lives.
And me.
And you, sorry, one in China.
Besides for Robin living somewhere really interesting, is there anyone else living somewhere obscure?
Not that I'm aware of, no, not even Hawaii.
I think
Howard,
Grant Gordon
Howard,
used
I will be in 6 weeks' time.
Doron, Netherlands is hardly obscure anymore.
It's going to be an obscure little town. I'm not going to be in any one of the big ones. I'm going to be living in this little town. So
I seem to remember Grant Gordon lived somewhere in South America.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, that could be.
Robin, what do you do in China?
I work in global mobility, which there's not much happening at the moment. So basically, I work, I do the visas. I work for large companies when they want to bring people over, figure out how much goes from like visas to bringing them over for look-sees, to finding them schools, to making sure that they fit the environment if they're really going to succeed, well, not succeed, but if it's a good fit. So that's what I've been doing for the last 13 years. Before that, I was doing medical conferences.
What took you out to China?
I came to Shanghai in 2000 for a week, and I stayed. So, yeah, a long trip.
Sure.
A very
Howie, I see that Grant Gordon lives in LA.
Oh, yeah, in LA now. Cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, Gila, thank you so much for arranging this.
Only my pleasure.
I actually had a reunion with my Israeli high school. I think it was 2 years ago or something. Anyway, I was following the whole thing, and in the end, I actually missed it. So I feel quite grateful I didn't miss it this time.
I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah, so thanks very much. And to all of you, take care wherever you are. And let us all stay happy, healthy, and with lots of love around us.
Amen. On that note, I think we should end it off, and I'll see the Joburgers and if the Cape Townians would like to on Friday.
Thanks, Gilla. Thanks for organizing.
Pleasure.
Thanks, Gilla.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.